Welcome to Simply Joy by Kristen. I'm Kristen, and I'm so glad you are here. Are you excited? Oh, I am. I love working with Connie's papers, and this spring release was so whimsical and cheerful, and I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to create with them. So they released last week, and I didn't get them until the day before just because of the snowstorm and everything, and so I didn't get to play and create with them. So I asked your thoughts, like, hey, what would you like me to do or see? But did you see that shelf in my space? I need to make some samples. So you're helping me out here. So I'm hopefully going to inspire and encourage you by showing you my take, my spin on some of the papers. But I'm also going to create some samples that can go into my wall space now where Connie's papers are featured. Oh, it looks so pretty there. But I do want to remind you, you can just put her beautiful papers in a frame. Like, you don't have to go elaborate. Like, her artwork is just so stunning. Like, you just can put it in a frame, and I think I'm going to pick a couple and put in a frame. But this first one, that was my plan. My plan was to frame it because out of all of them, I was like, oh, I don't need to touch any of them, but this one, I was like, oh, you're just so beautiful, but you chose it as one of the options. So of course I had to have some creative fun with it. So I'm bringing back the hanger. Do you remember, was it November or December that I did a piece with the wood hanger, and I had got a set of 5 of them? So I wanted to do it again. I just had so much fun creating with the wood hanger. So let's get going. Are you ready to create a spring version of the hanger? I love how this piece came together. I incorporated 2 different vintage sheet musics, one where it was like mini size and one I used for the background. I water tore the edges of the paper, trying to maximize and keep as much of the original as possible because it just was so lovely, and layered them on top of each other. After the black splatter, I still felt like it needed something like movement. And so I had this crazy idea to take a manila folder and just add all kinds of fun colors on top of it in a more of an abstract way before stamping it. So I used so many different colors just to create this fun, whimsical look. I took the butterfly stamps from IOD, I stamped them, then cut them out. Of course, added gold accents between the edging and, of course, gold splatter. And I think it was the very perfect touch for movement on this piece. I absolutely love how this frame turned out. I painted it in DIY black velvet, wet distressed it, clear wax, and then dark wax, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I decided I was going to fussy cut out the cow, and so the first thing I did was I painted the back white, and then I adhered it to a manila folder to give it a little stiffness. Aren't those two papers of Royce's just so fun? I knew that the Highlander cow needed a background, something to give it interest or texture, and so I went into my stash of Roycycled papers and I narrowed it down to these two. But before you see which one I went with, I just want to encourage you again. I think I've said this over and over, but to go through what you have. There's a reason you have it, and I am really trying in 2025. Now, this is my third year of really shifting how I buy supplies, how I thrift and source. What do I use? What am I drawn to? I don't have to rescue everything. What's practical, and I'm trying to hold off thrifting and sourcing for a while this year. I don't know how long I'll last. Last year I did it from the first of the year all the way until my birthday scavenger hunt, which is the end of March. So maybe that's what I'll do this year. Maybe I won't. But I'm just so proud of myself for creating everything that I did today, was using things that I already sourced, that things that I've already purchased and I loved. And it was really fun to go through my supplies and be like, ooh, this will work with this paper. Ooh, this will work with this paper. And so, I don't know. I just encourage you to have a fun time with the supplies and the thrifted treasures you already have. I mean, these papers are beautiful and can go with anything, like anything. So let's get back to the Highlander cow. My idea for the Highlander cow was to create dimension, almost like it was coming off of the frame. And so I use these blocks to lift it up. My tip though, don't glue them as close to the edge as I did. If you are enjoying the video today, would you leave me a heart or two in the comments and let me know how I inspired and encouraged you? That would make my day. Next up, I feel like I should have said drum roll, please, is the owl. Oh, isn't she such a sweetie? I wasn't sure what size I was going to use. I knew I wanted to put her in an oval frame, and it ended up being the larger size that fit the best. But know that almost all of the designs in this spring release come as a full sheet or in multiples. How is it that my supplies run low at the same time? Does that happen to you too? When I cut out Connie's papers, my favorite go-to backgrounds are either sheet music or in this case, I use watercolor paper. I think it is the perfect clean palette as the backing. As soon as I saw that sweet, sweet little owl, I knew that it would be so perfect for a little girl's room or a nursery. I was a little hesitant, like, can I, pull off the look I was going for? I found kind of an inspirational gallery wall for a nursery, and they had this beautiful aged pink frame. That's about all I took from the inspiration, but I loved it. And so I likened, that petticoat pink down and the clear wax with the dark wax, but then added more clear wax just to soften it. But I hope you love the final reveal as much as I do. I think it is just the sweetest, and I can't wait for it to find its new and forever home. This was a little side project I was working on in honor of the Eagles. I incorporated the love statue, which is found in Philadelphia, as well as Kelly green representing them. And if you look closely, there are some football lace stitches. So this cutie patootie has been in my mind nonstop since Connie gave us the preview of the new release as the retailers, and I couldn't get this toad, and many of you called it a cute little froggy, but I couldn't get this toad out of my mind. But the thing is, I don't know where to start. I think I just don't wanna do it wrong, like it's in my brain, and oh, Mr. Toad, I wanna do this right for you. So let's see what I can come up with. Aren't these just the cutest? Like I said, all you need is a frame for Connie's artwork. Like, oh, they're so adorable. Now I know you saw the to be continued for the toad. It was by far the most popular request, and it definitely was the one that spoke to me the most. However, my emotional artist was not moving fast. She was dragging her feet on this one, and it's in process, and it is my plan to have it all ready for you next week on next week's video. But I think it's okay. Like, it's okay that sometimes you gotta take a pause. Like, I didn't want to rush the process because I have way too many ideas up here, and I knew that by rushing it, I wouldn't be happy. And because this was the one that spoke to me, I want to do it right. I don't want to wrong Mr. Toad, but as my little offering, I did put one of them in the cutest little frame. And can you tell me that's not the sweetest? Oh my goodness. Oh, he's supposed to go to the booth, but do I keep him? Oh, he makes me so happy. But anyways, I want to show you the ones that I have framed up. Hello, friend. I am so glad you are here. Thanks for hanging out today and leaving the comments on which papers I was gonna create with. It was kind of fun to know that I had 4 papers, and I just let my emotional artist choose the order, and I used things that I already had. Yeah, it was a really fun week. Yeah, so I will get back to Mr. Toad and hopefully have an update for you next week. There's a couple papers I didn't use, such as that fun bright one with the hearts, the bee, and the dragonfly. I have an idea for that, so that one might be coming up. But I also have some other fun things that I noticed when I was going through my stash, so don't be surprised if I just decide to do this or that or whatever I decide to come up with, and try to find creative ways to use what I already have. Plus, I need to get back to organizing, and again, my goal for this year is to be proactive, not reactive. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'm leaving you with the beautiful spring release to check out, just to show you all the papers and maybe ones that I didn't even create with.